So this is a poem from my previous book, Pantheon, which is it's a collection of dramatic monologues in the voices of various invented god characters. And this one is the god of sky. Because you have always been a model passenger, pretending to watch the pre-flight safety instructions, always willing and able to perform the duties required of those in exit row seats, I leapt into action and removed you from your crashing plane. It was a small thing, the exit door already blown away by the smuggled device, your lap belt unfastened, despite the fact your only sin, the fastened seatbelt sign, was clearly lit. I forgave you and brought you here, the freezing air of 20,000 feet. Whether you're better off than those inside is yours to say. I'm not the god of safety or soft landings. Those still panicking in the doomed fuselage have, along with oxygen masks and seat cushion flotation devices, the same time left that you do, more or less. And they have each other screaming. You have nothing but falling and the wind your falling makes. You're shaking, yes, but you have the horizon at sunset and the earth's curve. And I will stay however long it takes you to flurry through me, if that's all right. How I wish I could be the god of flight, or out of thin air parachutes, or even the god of death, so I could end this. I'm not. There is no god of death, or parachutes, or flight. Just sky. I hope it's a comfort to know that I am with you. I hope it's a comfort to know you're almost flying. And I'll read one from the book before that. This is a book called The Storehouses of the Snow, Psalms, Parables, and Dreams. And it's just what it says on the tin. There's 3 kinds of poems in the book. There's psalms, which are direct addresses to a god character. There's parables, which are narrative poems that pretend to tell some sort of moral lesson at the end. And then the dreams are just sort of first-person lyric poems that don't fit tidily into either of those categories. This is one of the parables. Parable. There was a street, and upon it stood 3 vacant houses, and beside them no others, a neighborhood long abandoned. And so one night came thieves, 3 of them. Into the first house the first thief crept, breaking the dirty glass of a cellar window. But there he found no gold, and so empty-handed he left and never returned. And then at the second house, the second thief, knowing no one would hear, drilled out the lock of a side door. But finding there neither silver nor jewels, he too left and did not come back. And so it was the third thief approached the third house. But unlike the others, he broke no glass, destroyed no lock. He simply walked right in. The threshold, like both the others, had long stood open. For a while he explored the rooms, then slept on the floor. At daybreak he tidied the lawn and planted the garden. At noon he mopped the shower and oiled the doors. And then, as the day ended, he took some paint to the mailbox and wrote his name. And like this man, and though you will always be a thief in your heart, you must find the kingdom empty, then make it yours. And I'm going to finish with an old one. This is a poem from my second book. And it's for my old friend Franz Peter Griesmeier, who is a philosophy professor and from Austria. And when one is an Austrian philosophy professor, you wind up having lots of conversations like this in the backyard with a bunch of beers. This poem's called Knowledge. My philosopher friend is explaining again that the bottle of well-chilled beer in my hand might not be a bottle of beer. That the trickle of bottle sweat cooling my palm might not be wet, might not be cool. That in fact it's impossible ever to know if I'm holding a bottle at all. I try to follow his logic, flipping the stakes that are almost certainly hissing over the bed of coals. Coals I'd swear were black at first, then gray, then red. Coals we could spread out and walk on. And why not, I ask, since we'll never be sure if our feet burn, if our souls blister and peel, if our faithlessness is any better or worse a tool than the firewalker's can-do extreme. Exactly, he smiles. Behind the fence, the moon rises, or seems to. Have another. Whatever else is true, the coals feel hotter than ever as the darkness begins to do what darkness does. Another what? I ask.